Okay, so, good Purim, everyone. Shalom Aleichem. If I could only express my hakarat tov to all those that worked so hard on tonight, on making sure that tonight would go smooth and work, I want to say thank you to everyone, because everyone's been working so hard. So many different crews, so many different people, you should see the amount of cameras and equipment we have here, and then Hashem is saying, yeah, that's not in the plans. But we do have people here, and we have special chaverim and chaverot that are with us. So our campaign for our wonderful shul, Shirat David, has Baruch Hashem gotten off to a tremendous start. Many of you have been with us over the years. Many of you, Be'ezrat Hashem, will be with us over the years. And we're inviting you all to join us tonight to extend our Mishpachat Shirat David, here in Efrat as we build our Mikdash Me'at. There is so much more to say, which I will. For now, I'm going to ask you all to please share this video, share it, and hopefully one of the Chaverim here will put in the comments the link in order to find out how you can contribute. We're all b'simcha. We're all b'simcha right now. And I want to welcome to our studio right now my dear friend, a dear friend of Am Yisrael, our first guest of tonight, a fellow Kohen. He is not my physical father. He is not my biological father, but he is definitely my spiritual brother. Shalom Aleichem, Yehuda Katz.
Shalom. Good evening. Good Purim.
Good Purim.
Great to be here, as I said before, that Mamish, the times where I had the school to daven and to come and pray with your chevra here, the davening is Mamish deep and high at the same time. I just love it. And it's such an unbelievable thing that you're able to bring to Efrat and do something that you knew had to be in the world. So it should be with a lot of continued hatzlacha. And it's no accident that you're building a Mikdash Ma'at next to Purim, because Purim is connected to the Beis HaMikdash. No? Right? It's Mamish Simcha, the Simchat Libo. And as you know, this nigun that you asked me to sing, Shoshanas Yaakov, is a miracle nigun. So I hope it will bring a lot of merit and miracles to the Beit Knesset.
Amen.
The miracle is that it came down to me on Purim one year. I was blessed, and the miracle is that I remembered it. That's the unbelievable miracle. So here we go. The Simcha.
Shoshanat Yaakov Tzala V'Samecha Birotam Yaakov Keilen Mordechai Tishu Atam
Shekoyach. Yehuda, thank you so much. This is a great way, mamash, exactly the way the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted us to start our evening tonight. Yehuda's running off to do another, Baruch Hashem, another mitzvah of helping other chevra make sure that they can continue learning strong. Hashem should give you and Michelle and all the kids and Einik Lach, Arichut Yamim, and health. And Simcha, Bezrat Hashem, and Nacha. Thank you so much for being with us. Mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov. Can't wait for you to come and join us and daven in our Mikdash Me'at. So, dearest friends, welcome back. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm honored and thankful that our Keilah, Shirat David, is filled with so many different, special people who have so much to offer. If there's one thing that I could say that most people have in our shul is passion. Passion to grow. Passion for more. And we have the most incredible group of women who are such powerhouses, who Baruch Hashem have taken a lead on so many levels, have taken an incredible makom of hanhaga, makom of leadership, makom of showing us what it's all about. And Baruch Hashem, we're privileged to have with us someone who I have the privilege of learning with and teaching with, and is really like our already mishpacha right now. And she is with us right now. And we also lead trips to Ukraine together, which whenever the gates open again, we're back to that as well. So I want to give a big shalom aleichem to Shoshana Yudelman. Everyone, round of applause. Yes, this is the studio. This is the studio.
audience.
Well, it's a Purim energy tonight, but I just want to say that when I think about it, it seems like we have been learning and davening together for many, many years. But how long has it been?
Almost 4 years.
I can't believe it. I can't believe
We
it.
packed a lot into this.
We really did. So Shoshana, just for those of you that don't know yet, we are very, very, very thankful that Baruch Hashem, Shoshana has been leading the women's learning in our Keilah, and we have a lot of plans for much more of that, Bezrat Hashem. Shoshana, what drew you and your holy husband, Reb Chaim, the doctor, what drew you guys to our Keilah?
We made Aliyah in 2013, and we lived on the other side of Efrat, and we kept on hearing about this amazing Keilah, Shirat David. But it was like over the hill and down the hill and around the corner, and on Shabbos it's a long way to walk with kids. And finally, we just, honestly, we kept on waking up on Shabbos morning and being like, where do you want to go to shul? Where do you want to go to shul? Where do you want to go to shul? And then someone said to us, if it's such a big deal, why don't you just move down there? And actually, Marianne said that to us.
Dancer?
So,
Oh, yeah?
Dancer. Marianne Dancer. So, like, mamish, the next day, a house came up, and we made the big move. And Baruch Hashem.
I can't believe it's been that. I mean, it really does feel like forever.
I know.
What's it like to grow with the women of our Keilah?
It's such a schus. It's so amazing. I really feel like when we get all of us into a room together, the energy just goes so high, and there's so much support and love and just a real desire to help each other, to dig deep and to fly high. And I can't wait we haven't been face to face learning together in such a long time. So, Bezrat Hashem, not only can I not wait to get face to face, but I can't wait to learn together in our binyan, our Mikdash Me'at.
And what have been some of the most exciting topics or svarim that you've had the privilege of learning with the women of our Keilah?
Well, last year before life changed as much as it has, we started B'nai Machshava Tova, the Piasatz and Rabbi.
No. You
We
started.
call it B'nos Machshava Tova.
Thank you.
And Baruch Hashem, it was an amazing journey. We ended up finishing it on Zoom, so it was a little bit different than we expected it to be. But maybe we'll do it again at some point. But it's a journey. It's a journey deep into the soul, and you can only do that with a group of women who want to dig deep, who want to grow, who want to push themselves. And it's such a privilege, and I'm so inspired by the women who come together to really do that, to really push ourselves, push each other, support each other.
There's one more thing that I wanted you, because I know you have to run. You also have something very special. We kept you here very late. But I know that my daughter has benefited so much from a very special program that you ran this year. Is it still happening? Or
It's happening. It's a little bit on hold. Bezrat Hashem, we're going to come back this week together, a bat mitzvah chug. And it's an amazing opportunity for me to get together with the girls and to just, explore some of the topics from a different angle. And, to really 11, 12, it's a challenging time. It's a time of change.
You have a daughter that age?
I have a daughter that age. Baruch Hashem, we just celebrated her bat mitzvah in lockdown in a unique way. And so to explore the stories and the ideas, and Bezrat Hashem will bake Home Tashin together this week.
Amen.
So,
good.
yeah.
I'm excited. Well, Shoshana, I thank you so much for being with us, not just tonight, but what you and your family have brought to this shul. There's no way we would be where we are. I'm going to make you very... There's no way we'd be where we are without you guys, Bemet. And, because everyone has felt so close to you guys, and my family as well. So I want to give you a bracha to have a many more years of success and learning and growth. And your excitement for Talmud Torah. It should never get old. It should remain on this new, fresh place.
Amen.
And Bezrat Hashem, we will have the opportunity to learn with many, many more people. Bezrat Hashem.
Amen.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shoshana. Dearest friends, someone called me today, Rabbi Kunin, because I grew up in Los Angeles and I grew up with the telethon, with the Chabad telethon. And I feel like it's kind of a telethon over here. But if you're able to, please make sure to join us in donations. We are Chazdei Hashem, where we've been getting very, very, very strong chizuk from a lot of different people. We have some surprises to share a little bit later. I want to share one very inspiring thing. We mentioned right now, we were talking with Shoshana about the bat mitzvah girls, as our next guest is coming to prepare and sit down by the chair. Very special guest. We've been talking about the bat mitzvah girls, but our children in our keilah play a very, very big role. My daughters, together with a few other girls in the community today, baked cookies, and they sat on the street corner, and Baruch Hashem, I want to show you what I have here. Look at this. Look at this. It's a hard box to open. We're going to have our assistants here help us. And I want to show you, girls, how much money is in here?
266.
Can you believe that? They went out today, they baked cookies, lichvod the Beit Knesset, 266 shekel. This is what it's all about, friends. Even ma'asu habonim hayta lerosh pina. We don't know which is the exact shekel that is going to be the game changer. We have no idea. But what I do know is that our children of our keilah have taken things to another level. We have many different pages of people that have pledged. And each person, I was so touched in my heart because each person spoke about how much their children are excited about shul. They're excited to come daven. They're excited to come and experience the Ribono Shel Olam. They're excited to get deeper and learn. This last trip that we did to Uman, we had a mother and a bat mitzvah girl came to celebrate her bat mitzvah by Rabbi Nachman. Zchus Yagen Aleinu. They're unbelievable things. Things that we hope to do much more of, but here in Eretz Yisrael to flourish and to flow with the children of our keilah. There are our leaders. They get it. They get it. They're not confused. And they've had to go through a very crazy year, and yet they mamish get it. So I want to thank all the children for being our inspirations. They've been incredible leaders. They've been so special. And I could just speak personally, but I think I speak on behalf of everyone. They mamish drive me. They drive me to keep on going. We have all different events throughout the whole year where we spend a lot of time with the children. And just this little box, it's not a little box, it's a very, very big box. And I just want to mention, as I see that we have technical difficulties, and it's not us, it's global, which means we're all in this together. We have global difficulties on many levels, but one of them is the live stream event that we had all planned with all the videos set up. We are going to publish all of them later tonight, all of the different segments that we have. And I just wanted to give you a little tidbit about one segment that we have. I had the privilege of doing an interview in this room. I was interviewed by our very own Sophie Miller. She did an amazing, amazing job asking me such good questions. Questions that made me think. Questions that made me actually take things a little bit slower and be mitbonen on and think about it. That's a 12-minute interview that I can't wait for my great-grandchildren, Be'ezer Hashem Yisbarach, to watch as well. We're going to have that on. And the brachos that came in from Chutz La'aretz, and friends and musicians that performed from all over the world. But you know what? We're also so lucky that our chevra here in Eretz Yisrael are with us. And I'm not going to do any hakdamas because I already learned my lesson. I want to introduce my dear friend, our dear friend, Achi v'Re'i, Bemet Yedid Nafshi, Rabbi Yosef Karduner, who joined us right now.
Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Yosef. תודה רבה מאוד שאתה איתנו. אנחנו מרגישים שאתה חלק אומנם אתה לא, עוד לא.
אני מחכה להגיע כבר, אני מחכה להגיע. שבת, תתארך.
אמן, בעזר השם יזבח. אני שומע לך מקום במקווה. יש לנו מקווה ברוך השם. חס השם. Rabbi Yosef has been with us on a number of occasions already for probably like 5-6 years already that we have a lot of interaction. שאנחנו עושים הרבה דברים ביחד, איזה זכות, מלווה מלכות and all different types of things. And Rabbi Yosef knows our chevra very, very well. So I'm very honored to ask Rabbi Yosef to sing a few nigunim to give us some chizuk as we build our migdash. יש לך איזה ניגון שנוכל לשיר שהוא מכוון לבניין, לבית המקדש, משהו שקשור יותר למשהו בסגנון הזה של מה שאנחנו מצפים לו, כמו השם מלך, השם מלך השנים לו. על משיח כמובן יש. כן, כי אנחנו באמת, ההרגשה פה, אני אגיד לך, I'm going to say it in English, you understand it, just most of the people here understand English for now. One of my daughters asked me yesterday, Abba, why are you working so hard to build a shul that you're not even going to use? Okay, למה אתה מבין, right? I was like, wow, מה אני אגיד לה? What am I going to say, you know? בתור כהן, right? I'll be busy over there, right? אז יש לנו ציפייה that בעזרת השם יתברך, the shul will be built and it'll be used, but it'll be a stopping step until we get to just a few minutes over there to the binyan habayit, and that will be בזכות משיח. צדקנו שבו ובימלאו הנביא ויעשו לנו בשורות טובות ישועות ונחמות. So, if you could sing with us one of your nigunim about the גאולה העתידה הקרובה לבוא בעזרת השם.
אז there is a song of a friend of mine, הרב ברוך קליין, from Paraguay. משיח יבוא לתקן את העולם כולו, to fix the whole world, והשם יבנה ביתו, הקדוש ברוך הוא will build his house, בית המקדש, להשרות שם שכינת קודשות.
And this is Yaakov's father?
Yeah.
Yaakov's father?
Yeah.
Really?
Very talent.
באמת?
Yeah, תלמיד חכם,
Wow.
and also compose couple songs.
איזה יופי.
השם יבנה ביתו, להשרות שם שכינת קודשו. והשם יבנה ביתו, והשם יבנה ביתו, להשרות שם שכינת קודשו. משיח יבוא, משיח יבוא לתקן את העולם, את העולם כולו. היי משיח יבוא, משיח יבוא לתקן את העולם, את העולם כולו. משיח יבוא, משיח יבוא לתקן את העולם, את העולם כולו. משיח יבוא, משיח יבוא לתקן את העולם, את העולם כולו. והשם יבנה ביתו, והשם יבנה ביתו, להשרות שם שכינת קודשו. והשם יבנה ביתו, והשם יבנה ביתו, להשרות שם שכינת קודשו. משיח יבוא, משיח
Dearest friends, what a zchut to always have Rabbi Yosef with us. Mamash todah. I want to hear a little bit more in Beseder. Something good for Purim, maybe. Chvod Purim, Adar. Friends, we're working so hard, Baruch Hashem, on this wonderful zchut to build our Mikdash Me'at here. As you know, this is a cause match campaign, which means that every single dollar that you give is matched. It's like, imagine if every time you did a mitzvah, it was like a double mitzvah. You know, that's really where it's at. So I believe, even though I can't see here on the screen we have over here, but I believe that the link to help us should be in the comments. Please, and we're going to keep on feeding it to everyone. My dearest friends, this is the night that really, really counts for so many of us. And I have such bitachon, Baruch Hashem, that we're on our way to reaching our goal, which is $1 million. I believe the number now is, are we busy already dealing with numbers? Well, we're getting, yafeh me'od, kol hakavod, chaverim. We are 35%, and the night is still young. So, mamash kol nedivlev yaviehu. I want you to know, I got calls and emails from certain Rabbanim and Pashto Yidden that actually said to me, we put aside 20 shekel. They said, Shlomo, I'm sorry, it's all we have. But we want to feel like we're part of this mitzvah. I couldn't believe it. That 20 shekel is, in the eyes of the Ribono Shel Olam, who are any of us to say that 20 shekel is more valuable than someone's 20,000? Although if you do want to give 20,000, it's okay. We let you. Anachnu marshim lachem. We let you guys. But we want everyone to be part of this awesome zchut. Hashem Yitbarach has been so kind to us for so long already, so many years, and we're trying to just make it so much more kavodik with this wonderful, beautiful building. That the building itself is more or less done, but like a dear friend wrote to his family this week, it's the interior that now we're working on, which is always the story. We're working on the pnimius, we're working on things inside. So please join us. Every dollar is doubled, every dollar is matched. And Bezrat Hashem Yitbarach will have a continuing, an evening of good news and Besorot Tovot Lekol Am Yisrael. Let's get back to some sweet davening with Rabbi Yosef. יישר כוח, רבי יוסף, תודה רבה, שנזכה לעוד שנים רבות של לשמוח ביחד, להתפלל ביחד בעזר השם, ושנזכה ממש בעזר השם להמתק הסדינים, למחות את זרעו של עמלק once and for all, בעזר השם.
אני רוצה גם להשתתף. קצת.
חבר'ה.
100 שקל. עוד הבניין הקדוש.
חבר'ה. I know to Americans this looks like monopoly money, but it was matched. Look at that, it was matched. It was matched.
We have דאבל זכויות, הנה שמיים עכשיו. דאבל.
אמן, אמן. תודה רבה. ממש מעומק הלב. תודה רבה. אמן, אמן. בשם השם נעשה ונצליח. Thank you so much. It's always a treat. It's always a treat to be together with dear friends, with Bali Menagnim. And we have a lot more friends that are going to be coming, that are on their way to the studio, that are already here. Friends of the Kehillah, friends of yours, friends of ours. I want to just make just a few important announcements. And that's that our Cause Match campaign has been going on for about a few hours, I think. And Baruch Hashem, we are nearing, I think we're nearing 40% already. And that's an incredible thing, Chaver. We need to go. We need to do this. We need to take it to the next level. So each one of you, I can't tell you how many times people stopped me on the streets the last few weeks, and they just told me, they said, Rav Shlomo, whoever you meet, just make sure that they know that any person that ever gives $1 or a shekel to a binyan beit knesset or to Klei Kodesh, that these are things shebe'emet and Shammai make the biggest rishimu. So, I don't know what makes a big rishimu in Shammai. I'm sure, I believe them, but I want you to know that each one of you that has seen themselves as a distant cousin, a relative of Shirat David, wherever you've been, and wherever, as many times as you've visited us, and even if you haven't visited us, you've been with us at a certain point, it makes us feel very, very, very humbling. It mamish humbles us to a great extent. So please know that this mishpacha is getting bigger and bigger as we speak, and we would love to be able to make sure that we can, and we will, B'ezrat Hashem, complete the avoda. And like we saw tonight, the Ribbono Shel Olam is always running the show. It's just that sometimes we are under the assumption that we don't need to pay too much attention. And then you have nights like tonight where there's so many plans, things to happen, and videos, v'chulei. But really, the Ribbono Shel Olam is reminding us, I want to be so much part of your life, and I want you to be thinking about me all the time, and how much we need each other all the time. So we have, I'm mamish holding myself back from sharing some very, very exciting. You know what? I feel like I'm Yossi Sasson right now. Should I go for it or no? Should I share? No, not yet. Not yet. I would love to invite to our humble stage over here. Do we have both of your parents here or just one? Yeah, Avi and Yael? Yedidei Nefesh, pillars of our Kehillah, Avi and Yael Miller, who have been also people that I feel like I definitely grew up with from a young age. And I feel like in their zchut I'm still growing up. So, Mishpachat Miller, Shalom Uvracha. Shalom Uvracha.
Hello.
Pause for applause.
Pause for applause. Okay. Pause for applause. So, Mishpachat Miller, I really do feel that, like we have a dear friend whose name is Tom Shafor, who is one of the pillars of our Kehillah. He needs a refuah shlema. We should send him a refuah shlema. He broke his wrist. Should send him some love right now. Tom always says, whoever was brought to our Kehillah was handpicked from above. It's not stam. He said it a number of times over the years, and that's a statement that I feel very connected to. Do you guys relate to that statement?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a different type of a Kehillah.
Yes.
And you've been part of different Kehillot. Yeah, you grew up in the States, Avi, you grew up in Montreal. You both made Aliyah from Montreal. How many years now?
7 years ago.
7 years ago.
That's it?
Shnat Shmita.
We brought a little snow with us.
Baruch Hashem,
Thank you.
it worked this year.
Once every 6 years.
Now, every Kehillah has its own chen. Every single Kehillah in the world. Every Kehillah has its own chen. And I was sharing with the Chaver earlier today that what I love about where we live is that there's so many different types of people, and people like different stuff, and there's been so much love and support. People that don't even go to our shul but are so excited about what we're doing that they're surrounding us with love. And I saw people even share your page that pledged in honor of your late Abba, Rabbi Ebi Warhaftig, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, and the excitement people have that they can be part of something. For me, it's been a game changer. You've been part of many different keilot. What would you say about our, like, what you've come in contact with here?
I mean, I love all the keilot I've been part of,
Right.
and they're all special and they're all unique. And I think what brings this keila to another level, just a different level, is that everyone feels a sense that they have something to offer. Different aspects, but like everyone has their own like message to bring over. And also, what we have here with Rav Shlomo and Bina is just me'ein olam haba. Like, I know you're blushing, but you can't see this
You
on
can't see
Facebook.
It's true.
But it's just the Karsa Tov that we have for your family and your Michal and Yuri, like the whole thing,
The whole
like
package.
the whole package. It's really and your parents.
And the Saba that leads the choir.
That's right.
It's like when you think it's done, like Dayenu, we get another level. Then we get a newborn baby in the middle of Corona when everyone's in a bad mood, everyone's depressed, and they pop
And
out
you bring
this
us a shalom
baby,
supper.
and everyone is flying high.
Yeah, El slipped in a word over there about the choir.
Yes.
You want to share about that a little bit?
Well, I grew up in Flatbush. I went to Yeshiva Flatbush, and we always heard about the legend of Shlomo Katz and the Shlomo Katz choir, which was world renowned. And I moved to Israel, and we got to have the zchut of having Rav Shlomo as our Rav. And lo and behold, I found out that your father was the one and only famous Shlomo Katz, which is amazing. And
Who was friends with your Abba also?
Which is so cool that he was friends with my Abba also. So like worlds colliding. Yeah. And Dov Kram, also the fact that he lives in our community and is helping to design our shul. Amazing. I mean, everybody from Camp Marasha is flipping out that Dov Kram. I called friends of my parents last night, and the woman, I was explaining to them about the project, and they said to me, Dov Kram, and the woman said, I don't want to reveal the name, but she's like, I'm still getting over my crush on Dov Kram.
Fine, Dov. Good Purim.
I hope I embarrassed you enough, Dov. But it really is. It feels like Me'ein olam haba, that it's all the worlds colliding in Eretz Yisrael. It's really what it is. It's what it's all about.
Kibbutz Galuyot.
It really is.
Exactly. And we spoke before, and I have the privilege of feeling this with your family a bit more intensely than others, although Bezrat Hashem will be with everyone. The connection to the children of the Kehillah. The children of our Kehillah are made out of something else.
Special.
Something else. I've had the privilege of, Baruch Hashem, for a long time to have a deeper relationship with your Bechor, with your Talmid Chacham, Avichai, and for the Kol Zeh Shaveh Li Rak Bishvil, meaning you have moments where you see, the kids are really much more than just interested in, okay, I'm into that. There's a ruach with the children that I try to give over and share when I travel. I can't imagine what it's like, though, as parents of to Olim that don't really know what's it going to be. And that's the number one question people have about what's going to be with the children, right? I find that I always want to send them your number right away. whenever it's like, well, how's it going to work? And of course nothing's guaranteed. Of course, look at tonight, nothing's guaranteed. But there is a bechina here of real emunah and bitachon that you're plugged into here that just...
Well, I think a lot of it stems from Shirat David. Like the Friday night davening and Shabbos davening, it's just, it's unbelievable.
It's out of this world.
Yeah.
It's really out of this world. And
When you asked Rav Asher Weiss recently in your interview, you said, how do we get our kids to be passionate about their Yahadut? And he said, well, the parents have to be excited about it. That's the key. And Avi looked at me and he's like, I think we're in good shape. I think that, and you don't have to work at it. It comes so naturally. The kids see, you can ask my daughter who's sitting right here, that this is where she'd rather spend her time, and her amazing friend Tiferet, who's dying for me to mention her name.
You did it.
She's amazing. So, but the kids see that we, as parents, the parents in the community, all we want to do is spend our time growing and being together and learning Torah.
Yeah, Shoshana was just here right before. I know you've developed a very special relationship with her. You've traveled with her to the Ukraine, and Avi, we've traveled also to the Ukraine together. These are things, not just that, listen, it's not just that you could have never imagined doing a few years ago. I also grew up in modern LA in Ranana. It's not exactly what I thought was gonna be.
We'll buy it.
We'll buy it. But these bonds that we have from the traveling together, also traveling together within Eretz Yisrael, and trips that we have within Eretz Yisrael, which we want to further more. There is a sense that the Kehillah here is much more than a get-together on Shabbos type of Kehillah. You get that vibe?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I really feel that, like the Kehillah and Shirat David in general, it just like focuses our intentions just on being close to Hashem, and that's really what it's all about. Like, if anyone's learned this year, it's certainly me about working, not working, but at the end of the day, it's just being close to Hashem.
Well, before we end, I want to just ask you, if you want to just share a little bit more about the page that you guys put up, because like I mentioned you earlier today, the warmth and achdut that your mission in terms of the fundraising for our shul has brought has been so inspiring. So maybe you just want to share, and you can find their pledge, their page on the Cause Match campaign as well. But you could share a little bit about it.
Sure. So we put together a page in memory of my father, Rabbi Avraham Warhaftig, Rabbi Avi Warhaftig, and he was the camp director of Camp Marasha. He was the first one to bring Yachad to a day camp,
really?
to a sleepaway camp, and Yachad honored him a few years ago, because after he was brave enough to do it, all the other sleepaway camps opened their doors as well.
Wow.
For all campers with all needs. He worked at Yeshiva Flatbush for years, and all the way through. And then ultimately he finished his career as the principal of Kushner High School. And all the way through, we've constantly gotten messages about what an incredible human being he was. And we knew it because he was the best father ever. He never yelled, he was so patient, and we all just wanted to be his best friend and share time with him and bond with him. But our family, we never wanted to, he was such a humble man, so we never ever wanted to raise money or donate anything in his name, or dedicate anything in his name. But with this shul, we have this chut to build this shul at Eretz Yisrael, and I said, okay, this is the perfect opportunity. We contacted my family, and they got on board, because they've all come to visit. Every single member of my family has come to visit, and they were blown away by our shul and by the ruach and the warmth, and they said, okay, this is the place. This is the place we want to dedicate in memory of our Abba. And we opened the page. I didn't know what to expect. And we went to light candles, Erev Shabbos. We were watching how much people had already donated. We said, okay, it's in Hashem's hands. We're going to have Shabbos. We made Havdalah. We sang Mavtil Min Kodesh L'chol. Avi said, B'yitain Lecha. We took extra time. We said, okay, now we're going to open up the computer. We're going to check. And we were blown away by how the generosity of people who, we didn't even have to make too many phone calls. They just saw Rabbi Warhaftig's name. I've been waiting for this day. I just want to donate because he made such a difference in my life. He was so kind. He always had a smile. He always accepted me the way I was. And we're getting more and more messages like that. And more than the money, it's those messages that give us the chizuk. So I just want to thank everybody who's contributed.
I read those messages of chizuk, exactly what you said. They're so, mamash fills our heart with the ratzon to be part of this. So, Avi and Yael, we love you guys. You're on mishpacha. We should be blessed for many more years to be together b'simcha, growing and being close to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and having our children grow up b'simcha here, where Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov saw Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. We're walking. What a zchut we have. And it's such a zchut to grow with you guys. So thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Amazing. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Chevra, we have a number of more guests that are already here in the studio. They're going to be joining. And I want to, in a minute, have our next group of friends come and join us in a second. But first of all, time for a few thank yous. I'm trying to do this all on my own right now, so we're going to figure this out. We have dear Chaverim that they're forever Shirat David members, because when a person puts their ruach into the shul at a certain point, and it doesn't matter how long they're here for, not here for, when you daven and you cry with someone and you mamish grow as someone, that lasts forever. I want to thank our dear friends, Ari and Ilana Erdfarb, for their donations. I just saw to a number of the pages. We're mishpacha, forever, thank you. another dear friend of ours, of many of ours. I want to say this. I called him this morning to tell him. He thought I was just calling to get him for a pledge. I wanted to tell him, well, that too, but I wanted to tell him something else. First is that I woke up this morning and 2 of his sons had already donated to the campaign. And I just wanted to tell him that, Mama, she raised mentions. Yechiel Atkin, Joel and Yael Atkin, thank you so much for everything you've done. You were the first family, when Bina and I got married, that welcomed us in on the block, back on Koresh and Dekel, all those 12 and a half years ago, Mashu Kazeh. So Baruch Hashem, it's been a long, long journey together, and we hope for many, many more. I also want to give a big yesher koach to our dear friends who I get to learn with online all the time, Avi and Stacy Rosenbaum. Thank you so much. You guys are an amazing example of you guys are an amazing example of how the kehillah is much greater than just the physical space that we're in, because we try to broadcast all of our shiurim. We try to get it every time we're together to broadcast it live, and we get to learn together all the time. So, Ashrechem Yeshar Koach Gadol, thank you so, so much. A lot more is coming in. I'm going to say it for the next group. But for now, this is, whatever. They're going to run out of here if I start talking too much about them. But there are people in your lives that when you meet them for the first time, you know you're supposed to spend a lot of time with them. You can't really figure out why, but there's something going on inside. Then when they decide that while they're living in Chutz La'aretz, to come here and celebrate their son's bar mitzvah in our shul, while they're still living in Chutz La'aretz, takes it to a whole other level. Then when they decide to mamish follow the hearts and join us here in our community, straight from New Jersey, these are the moments that make everything worth it. This is what we're about. But I want to say further than that. It's not just about making aliyah, as you'll hear from them and as you heard from the Millers, and you'll hear from others. It's about keeping on making aliyah. It only really starts once you get here. With that whole ganze introduction, I want to introduce and welcome our dear friends Bini and Nechama Cohn. Shalom Aleichem, Chevre. Shalom Aleichem. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy. I'm so thankful. You know what? I think I asked Mechila so many times over this year, because you guys made Aliyah when?
August 2019.
Right, so how much time did you actually spend with people in public? Not
5 months.
About 5 months,
After
right.
the summer, yeah.
And because of what's been going on, we've barely had time, and yet there's still this fire that's still there. So I want you guys, Bini, we know it's like you'll see, Chevra, you'll see soon, we know a lot of Bini's family, we know a lot of Nechama's family, but it's a bigger family right now. Personally, I want to just thank you guys for showing us what real holy guts means, having holy courage and holy guts, showing us how to be inspirations to your children and to all of us to make decisions at a stage in life where the world of comfort could have easily just been there. And it means a lot to me personally. It gives me a lot of fuel personally to keep on going. Why did you decide to make your son's bar mitzvah in our shul while you were living in Chutz La'aretz?
That's what he wanted. I mean, Max.
That's what he wanted.
That was Max's decision. I mean, we were very proud of him for it, but he ultimately made that decision. And when we asked him, what do you want to do for your bar mitzvah? He said, I want to do it in Shirat David. And he actually said, I want to do it in Efrat, in Shirat David, in that room. He couldn't imagine laning anywhere else.
That's what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
Oh my gosh. And what are you going to say to that? No, sorry. I mean...
And oddly enough, he was the one who made the decision for us to make Aliyah. It was his decision.
Really?
It was
Explain a little
on
bit.
my sister's beautiful merpaset that he said to, I think he
It was
said
at
to you.
Shavuos when we had already discussed it, but we weren't really sure. Max was in 7th grade, it's old, and we kept going back and forth a few times a year to visit, and he was standing on Nitzan David's merpaset, and he was crying. And I said, what's wrong? He's like, why do we keep going back and forth? What's going on? We're here. And so I said, do you want to live here? He says, yeah, this is, why do we go back and forth? We should be here. And I was like, if I'm the lone holdout, someone wanted to be here,
And
For
just
a
so you
decade.
know, it was that Shavuos trip that sealed the deal.
You
And
came
I'll
alone,
never-
I
right?
came with my
Right, you
father-in-law.
came,
and
right. I remember.
That sealed the deal.
And this is after, like I said to Nachum Siegel and many other people, after 13 pilot trips that my father took us on, that's what I call it.
Right.
And it was after that trip, Binyamin went alone with my father and Max, and Binyamin came home, and I'll never forget, he looked at me and he said, it's time.
So your kids
It's fine.
really brought you here.
Yeah.
We're here, firstly, for our children. Obviously, we have
Right.
our own selfish reasons for
Of
being
course.
here, but they were the ones that really made that decision.
Wow. I didn't realize to what extent they actually. Aye, Chatzkula.
Exactly.
Chatzkula.
Yeah.
And you've also been part of different keilot over throughout your lives. You're both originally from New Jersey, right? New York, the New York area. So you've seen a lot of different things. If someone would come in and ask you, like, just pinpoint one thing that makes our community Shirat David just stand, like, not stand Chalila above. We're not into that, but tell us a little bit about its own chen. What would you say?
So I can't use one word, but there's a few. Like, the word we always use is authenticity. Authenticity. You can be your true self. Shul's open, right? It's a judgment-free zone, but you can be your authentic self. You can grow into your authentic self. The spirituality that you may hide or not feel comfortable with because it's not being, accepted as much in other places.
Right.
Our kahila tells you, grow. We want you to grow. Find your best self. The warmth. I've been a member of many kahilot that were very warm, but this is every single member of the shul. The women, the men, the rabbi, it has a real interest in your well-being. Not just when you're at shul, how was your week? It's during the week, it's the learning, it's the programs, it's how people care for the children of the community, the women of the community, how they take a lead here, as opposed to in many other communities where that's not the case. So for me, that was very important.
And have you felt that this whole tkufa of not being together, has it just grown the passion to be together that much more, especially as we're marching towards a building? I mean, I can't even... I've thought about it so many times. Like, you came here because of this, and then it's not there. But we have these, like, we're building a mikdash me'at together.
Yeah. I can't wait because I miss, for me personally, one of the main reasons that I needed was my spiritual growth.
Be selfish. Now's the time to be spiritually
When
selfish.
I started learning with the Chabura, and we would come to Minyan, and like, this was not rote for me. I wasn't doing that every day in Teaneck. Even though in Teaneck I had all the opportunities in the world. I moved here for this.
Right.
And I feel as if it was taken from me, not specifically me, but I'm so looking forward for the ability to just get back in Friday night, daven, dance, learn.
I can't wait. How much time do we have to Lily's bat mitzvah? 2 years?
Less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years. Okay, we got
That's
to
right,
get
Hashem.
Yeah.
We'll get this built.
That's a
before
little
then.
plug, Chevra. We need to...
Let's get it done tonight, guys.
And you have your own page, right?
Yeah, of course.
You put it up. It's on your Facebook pages.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Shirat David. And you know what? You don't have to go to my page. Go to anybody's page.
Right.
It's all going to the same place.
And each of us are just as happy when the other person gets
Yeah.
anything, and that's the kind of vibe that we have here. Well, Bini and Chama, I miss you guys. It's like an
Yeah.
excuse to see each other. Thank you so much for being with us, and I hope, Ezrat Hashem, that we have many, many more opportunities to simply grow and be there for each other with good health and besimcha, and to remind ourselves how lucky we are to have each other all the time. Ezrat Hashem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Time for a niggun. Time for a strong niggun before we give a little tally, and as the next group of chevra come and join us. So. Die, 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 do 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 do, oi da, do do die, 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 da da die. An everlasting love, I have loved you. For this I have drawn you with my love. And ever everlasting love. I have loved you, for this I have drawn you with my love. The mountains will crumble and the hillside will fade away, but my love for you will not end. The mountains will crumble and the hillside will fade away, but my love for you will not end. Sing with me wherever you are. Die, 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 da, die, die. Oh, you know, do, 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 do. Die, 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 da, da, dee. Die, 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 da, die, die. Oh, you know, do, 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 do. Die, 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 da, da, die. This is one of the nigunim that we've been singing in our shul for a number of years now. It's one of those moments in shul that when we all sing it together, time stops, space kind of is irrelevant, and we feel that there's a certain sense of hamtacha, stretching out of all the different spiritual capacities we thought we were constricted by, suddenly get larger. And that's how I feel with the friendships we have in this kehillah as well. It's been something else. Chavra, we live in a really, really holy place in the world, and I talk about this all the time. That it could very well be. It's quite probable that the adama the earth upon which our shul is being constructed, is mamash the place where Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah walked on. It very may well be the place where David, Malka, Meshicha composed Tehillim. It all happened right over here. To build a Mikdash Me'at on these holy pebbles, we want everyone to have the zchut, because how many people lived their whole lives, maybe came back 15 different Gilgulim, and never had the privilege to put some money towards a binyan for the Shekhinah to reside al Admat HaKodesh. We live in Efrat. We live in the Zayit neighborhood. We live amongst Giborim. It's not just people that once they pass away we know they're heroes. Certain people we know even while they're alive that they're heroes. Drum roll, please. One of the greatest neighbors we ever had was a Jew that many of you have heard of. He was a hero not only when he was taken from us at such a young age at a tragic incident, but he was a hero when he was alive as well. Ari Fuld Hashem Yikom Damo was larger than life. Literally larger than life. And Ari was murdered. I remember that I think he was murdered, it was a Sunday morning. On Friday afternoon, Erev Shabbos, I saw Ari doing kniyot, doing some errands, taking care of errands in the Merkaz in Efrat. And I remember seeing, wow, this guy just seems to be someone that has it together. A gibor. It caught me very, very... Ari, our families go back many, many years. Our fathers are old friends from the SAR days in Riverdale. And Ari lived up the block. He was part of a wonderful, amazing shul, amazing chevra who we're all very close. It's one big mishpacha. There's no competition here between shuls. Everyone's happy for each other. The Rav there, such a zisa Rav, such a sweet Rav. The Chaverim and Zayit Ranan, we're all one big family. And it was known that Ari would go to the mikveh. There is a mikveh up here in the Zayit, a men's mikveh and a women's mikveh. And he would go there with his sons every Erev Shabbos. And it fills me with hitrakshut that it's hard to express. That right before we began tonight's broadcast, right before we began it, the mikveh in our shul, we have a mikveh on the bottom floor, a beautiful, beautiful mikveh. The mikveh was anonymously, sponsored in memory of Ari Fold. And that's one of the bigger ones. That was one of the bigger ones on the project. And I can't believe it. It's very filled with awe. It's filling us with excitement and with achrayut, I would say, with a major thing responsibility. And we notified the family right before we went online that our mikveh and our shul will be in memory of Ari. So, Chevra, our mikdash, as holy as we were under the impression that it was, it seems that it went up about 500,000 notches right now. I don't have any words, but I want you all to know this is family business here. And in family, everyone's got to pitch in. So, you see the link, thank you, leave it to Lisa. She just posted it right now. The link to join us is right there. Chevra, let's go for our goal, let's go for our target, let's reach our target and go weiter. So I'm going to sing one more nigun before we speak to our next chaverim, and in honor of them, I want to sing a very special nigun close to my heart. This is one of my favorite Lubavitcher nigunim. Let me get the right key. Ay, die, 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 yama, yama, hey, yama, 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 hey, yama, 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 ay, 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 da, da, ay, 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 da, da, ay, 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 yama, mama, mama, mama. Shalom Aleichem to my dear friends, to David and Nitza Jerome. Shalom Uvracha. So, just to give a little bit of a context, Nitza is Nechama's sister, who was just here right now. And the truth is that almost everyone in this community is either a sister, brother, cousin, or somehow related to this side of the family. So, first of all, I miss you guys. We rarely get to see each other because of what's going on in the world. But this is another classic example of people who I feel that we've been growing up since we're very little. We have mutual friends from many years ago, but how long have you guys been here for? In this Kehillah? 5-6 years. So let me ask you, if I would ask one of your friends to say, well, who were David and Nitza? What were they like, I don't know, 15 years ago? And what are they now? What do you think people would say besides an abundance of facial hair? What else would be a like where are we going?
I'm gonna give that to
I could sharpen the question to make it a little bit easier. Make it a little bit easier. In your vision of what life would look like back in the day. Was this something that you were looking for, or it became clear as you were growing together, this is the Kehillah that you wanted to raise your children in?
I think deep down inside somewhere, obviously, I think we're always looking for it. Had we found it? No. Had life taken us in different directions? Yes. But I think both of us, I think in there, I think it was always there, and I think this is what we always wanted.
Baruch Hashem.
And I think we just had to peel off some layers.
Baruch Hashem. Nitza, in terms of what the vibe is like here amongst the women, amongst the growth of the women here, I feel like you play a very big role, whether it's consciously or not consciously, but you know, just as a key into this picture of like, what we're really trying to do here is to make sure that people understand that the women are mamash the giborot, and the friendships that have been formed here have been something that I've rarely seen, Bemet. And the learning, and you've also traveled with us to the UK a number of times and other trips over here. If you had to describe what it's like to be part of the women's chavri here, what would you say?
It's a very strong sense of togetherness and support and unity, and it's non-judgmental. It's anybody can come to whatever, looking however they look, and everybody feels comfortable and everybody feels welcome and everybody's welcomed in. And I think that's really the beauty of the community and the beauty of the women. And we feel really, we have a real sense of knowing each other, and we have a very deep connection, and we feel it when we're together.
That's why it's been so hard to not be as together. Nachon. And David, I know that you know, we've had the privilege of like digging deep, not enough, but always you know, looking forward for more. In terms of our kinderlach, in terms of our children, what do you feel? You've had, Baruch Hashem, 2 bar mitzvahs. Well, 1 bar mitzvah literally in the shul, in a space where we're davening together, and the other year was a bar mitzvah where it was celebrated, everyone together, but obviously in this pandemic era. But Be'ezer Hashem, you know, more kinderlach that will be celebrating their Yiddishkeit over here. How do you express the excitement and enthusiasm that the children get a sense of from davening or whatnot?
I'll just give you an example. As we were walking out of our house to come here, we put the live stream on the kitchen counter, and Priel turned to me and said, Abba, can I give a shekel? I think it'll do something really good for the shul. Yeah.
Priel's 10, 11?
11? 10-ish. You're asking the wrong person.
That's unbelievable. That's what she said.
Yeah, she said, yeah.
Can I give a shekel?
The kids, thank God, you know, the kids will be kids, but they know that we're part of something really important. They know that we're, you know,
Mamash.
And you know, Nachon, we're davening on the street now, but they're dying to get back.
Yeah.
They know the street lacks. It is what it is, but yeah, Baruch Hashem, I think our kids really, really know that they're part of something special.
I was getting a sense before I was speaking with other people that when we try to explain to people what the Kehillah is all about, why our shul is so essential, is that it's so much more than just a chaver that gets together to daven on Shabbos. It's literally, back when we were able to, it's kimat everyday interaction. And I'm not just talking about Shachris, Mincha, and Maariv. There's every single day, there's a sense of, maybe it's more of an American thing. It could be that the shul, Yiddishkeit evolved around the shul in diaspora. It's more like that. But it's something that I feel here people are chalishing for. They're chalishing for. And there's so many different opportunities that are coming up within our shul to be part of something. And I want to ask you guys if you can give a shout out to 30 potential families that are waiting to hear just one thing to get them to come and join us from Chutz La'aretz, let's say. What would you say? Not Chalila you're not capable of doing it in a judgmental way, in the most, sharing the love kind of way. Like, what would you say? Invite them to be part of what? Like, how would we try to sum it up, and then I'll stop putting you guys on the spot like I am right now.
Why don't you start, and then I'll fill it after you.
I'm trying to think of some of the things that I said today and trying to recruit cash for the shul.
Cash is an important thing tonight. Yeah. Word is that it's a little bit important.
I would say that there's a true sense, I'll echo my brother-in-law, of authenticity. There's something that's so real here. There's something that's unlike any other community or shul or chevra or chabura that you'll ever encounter. Maybe you'll find, as far as I know. But there's fire in these hills. There's fire in these hills, and a fire that builds, and it can pick you up, and I'm grateful for it. And you should all be zocheh. You have 30 families out there. Come be part of it, and if you can't be part of it, help a little bit, to give a little bit of money to help be part of it.
That was pretty good. Can you mamshich that one?
I think there's also there's a feeling like you actually dive in and have a feeling. You get a sense of something. You feel something, and it's not something you get when you dive in other places, when you gather in other places. And I think that's really I think it's something, and a lot of people are craving that and they don't know it. And that's what we get here every week, every day.
And we just want that to be for everyone.
Right.
If we feel so lucky, we have to go weiter with it. So I just want to give us a bracha that Be'ezrat Hashem, the growth towards all that's important should continue to be what's in the Rosh Ma'ayanenu. That's what keeps on, keeping us in the right way. All of our families, our extended families, everyone should come back home Be'ezrat Hashem. Our children should only know of good news over here. And may you guys realize, like personally speaking, just how special it is to know that at least Bina and I feel like, together with your sister's family, that we get to build this and grow together is something that we should say halal for tomorrow with the bracha. No, I'm not pasking, but I'm saying if I could, that's what I feel like, and we want to bring that to everyone else as well. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Everything should be good. Be'ezer Hashem Yisbarach.
Amen.
All right, dear friends. Am I looking at this camera? All right. So we are proud to share with you. The question is, are they? Just let the links. Okay, all the chevra that are live on Facebook. So we should send them to the link, to the cause match link. You'll see it. If someone could put it in the comments over here, or stroll back up on top, you'll see. Because Baruch Hashem, it seems that the global issues have weakened. So, Be'ezer Hashem Yisbarach, it seems that we're good. We're good to go. It's happening. Happening, rolling. Please go to the Good Purim. Go to the Cause Match campaign page, and we will pick it up also here on Facebook Live in just a moment. For now, we are proud to air for you a promotional video. Chevra, you've been so patient with this Facebook Live for so long. It is so inspiring. Promo video, here we come.